taking flight, we rolling.
Hey, what's going on, friends? It's Alex from Motored Life. Thank you for stopping by, because today we have the Engwe M20. You can see this thing is an awesome, sporty, almost motorcycle-looking 1,000-watt e-bike with not one but two awesome batteries. So let's go ahead and get into all of the features, specs, everything you need to know about this awesome guy here. And then we're going to do something different today. Today, we're going to go over the 5 pros right up front, and then we're going to go over the 5 cons at the end of the video here. So if you're ready, we got a lot to cover. Let's go ahead and get right into it. All right, let's go ahead and check out a closer look at this beast here. I like going around and just giving you a good look at this. So one thing to point off is this thing does have awesome dual suspension. You have this awesome monoshock in the back here. They actually put a awesome set of triple tree suspension forks on here that line up perfectly with this nice set of kind of BMX style handlebars. So that all kind of makes this awesome package that really makes it look like a sport bike or almost like a motorcycle. So keep that in mind. This thing definitely looks real sporty. Now, I do like the fact that it has these awesome 20-inch by 4-inch wheels with those really cool mag rims in there. All right, so right down here is that 750 watt with that 1,000 watt peak motor, and it definitely does have enough torque and umph to get this thing going. Real cool seat there. You can see the name. I do like how the batteries and everything have their emblem, their logo, their message here on the frame. Now, like I said, this thing has not one, but two 13 amp hour batteries. So with these two batteries combined, this thing can get you almost 100 miles on one charge for both of the batteries there. And if you look on the website, they do have some other options. They do have a larger battery that kind of looks like a motorcycle tank for the top there. So check out all of the accessories and everything they have to offer for the M20. All right, so you can see it has these awesome 2 gigantic headlights in the front that have a regular and then a bright mode on there. Has a nice, awesome looking bracket. I think this whole setup in the front really makes the entire bike, really makes it look like a performance sport, you know, kind of like a motorcycle feel. And I do have to admit, I really do like just sitting on this thing. It really has a sporty feel. In fact, as I was sitting there, putting it together in the shop, I just sat on it for a while because it feels cool when you're riding. Definitely feels like you're kind of on like a, cross rocket or a sport bike. Now, it does have 5 levels of power assist, and it does have this really cool twist throttle here. So instead of like a, finger throttle or thumb throttle or a quarter twist, it's the full twist throttle. All right, so let's take a look at the controls here. So you can see it does have a 7-speed Shimano, awesome little thumb trigger shifter there. Definitely a nice, decent shifter in the back. You do have a decent little gear back there to get you going. Now, here's the cockpit. You can see it has 5 levels of power assist, and then you have your light and your horn button down there. All right, so we went over a lot of the features and specs there. Let's talk about the 5 pros and why you would want to buy the Engwe M20. So right off the bat, you can tell this thing, number one, it is a sporty looking e-bike. Definitely one of the cooler looking e-bikes that I own here. So pro number one, it is a good looking e-bike. All right, so number 2, and just as important as number 1, the dual battery setup. So you can get it with the 1 battery, but I like the dual battery setup. So like I said, 2 13 amp hour, 48 volt batteries. That'll get you going almost 100 miles. It's almost 50 miles per battery. So pro number 2 is the extra long range of this guy. All right, so pro number 3 on this guy here, I do have to say the dual suspension on this guy, full suspension, the front and the back suspension. This is a pretty decent monoshock in the back, which takes care of a lot of these bumps and everything out here on these trails, which this is definitely kind of a city bike, but I love that dual suspension and that monoshock because it definitely can take some abuse there. So pro number 3 is that awesome monoshock, the dual suspension. Alrighty, so pro number 4 is definitely the top speed. So this has a top speed of 28 miles an hour when it's fully unlocked. So that top speed is definitely going to be one of the reasons why you want it. Some of the other e-bikes in this range shut off at about 20 or 23 miles an hour. So the fact that this one goes all the way up to 28 and you can pedal with that awesome 7-speed gear, definitely a good pro here. So pro number 4 is that top speed. All right, so pro number 5 kind of goes in with the looks here. It kind of all is one package. So with the triple tree forks, this nice stout frame, awesome, you know, smaller 20-inch, but still big fat tires, kind of makes this thing a super quick, nimble, agile e-bike. So definitely a lot quicker and a lot nimbler, easier to maneuver than some of the big, large fat tire bikes. This is still considered a fat tire bike since they are 4 inches wide, 4-inch wide tires. But this thing is a lot more agile than some of the other options out there on the market. So I love the fact that this frame is nice and stout and short, but with those triple tree forks and everything and the dual suspension wheels, it is an agile beast. So those are the 5 pros of why you'd want to get the Engwe M20 here. We are looking for that stylish look, the extra long capacity, the awesome dual suspension, that top speed, and then the agility of this monster here. So enough talking about it. Let's go ahead and just get right on it. Get right into it, do a little demo ride so you can see how this thing goes in action. All right, got my 360 camera all here, the Insta360 1R, the older version. So let's go ahead and just hop on this beast. Like I said, it is an awesome 1,000-watt peak power monster. And we're just gonna go ahead and give you a little bit of the ride demo here. So I'm gonna put it just into PSA 1 here, just to get us going off. Yeah. All right. Good. Let's go ahead and do it. So it does have manual pull brakes, but they actually get it going enough to get her all stopped here. So I haven't had any problem, even though they are the manual cable pull brakes. Get a nice good breeze going on here. All right. I'm gonna kick it up into 5 here to get over this hill. But you can see it has enough torque with that 1,000-watt motor to get me all the way up this big hill here. All right. So like I said, with one of the pros we were talking about there, this thing definitely has a top speed to get you going up there. On throttle only, get you going up there. All right, let's slow her back down here a little bit. All right. Let's go ahead and bring her on down. Perfect. So like I said, this is a super nimble, super agile bike with these 20-inch wheels on here. I definitely do like it. With that back suspension, you can see you have enough travel to carry my fat butt up and down. And it looks like we got some goofballs on the trail here. All right. Man, this is just a nice, easy, smooth going e-bike here. I definitely like it. I gotta tell you, those are some pretty good, just regular brakes there. I'm trying not to get hit by a car. All right, let's open her up here. Nice. And still can be quick and nimble. Now let's try a little bit of off-roading here. Oh, okay. All right. So you can see those fenders definitely do slap around off-road, but it went right over all of that, no problem at all. So over here, let's just see how it handles gravel. Oh. That's good. The tires definitely do a good job here. Definitely not too bad on gravel. Not too bad on gravel. All right, this thing definitely has been a pleasant surprise. I definitely love the fact that this thing's nice and torquey. It's pretty smooth, and honestly, it's pretty quiet. It does definitely look like a motorcycle for sure. Definitely people kind of look like I'm not supposed to be on the trail. So keep that in mind. If you are looking at it, you might get a couple looks for looking like a motorcycle. I think for my last test here, really want to test out the suspension here before I go over my final 5 cons, I would say. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Whoa. See if she'll last. Not bad. It is shaky. Now it does have adjustable suspension on the front and on the back. So if you wanted to loosen this up a bit, you definitely could. But so far, not too bad. Haha! Definitely not bad. Feels like a little, like, it's giving me almost kind of like, kind of giving me like Ducati feel or like a Buell or something. Definitely got some torque, got some oomph, and is nimble enough to get us around all these corners here. So far, so good. Right. Haha. Whoop. All right, I did bottom out there, so that's the first time that I have bottomed out. So that was definitely a big bump there. All right. Nice. All right, let's do this quick, nimble, tight stuff here. Move over to the left side here. Cool. All right, so you can see this thing's definitely handled everything that we've threw at it so far. So 2 thumbs way up on the Engwe M20. Definitely a beast enough to handle it on the road and on the trails back here. And you see we are a little bit into it. So I'm going to go ahead, throw on the chest camera here, see if we can get back to where we need to go here. And then once we get back, we're going to go over the 5 cons and everything you need to know before you buy the Engwe M20. Now, make sure you check out the link in the description below and check out the coupon codes down there for you guys. We're going to go right down here. Let her rip, Tater Chip. The true test. Whoa! Random people hanging out back here. It's weird. Oh, strange. Did that guy get his socks? What was that? I don't like seeing people back here way out in the woods, man. That's strange. Oh, yeah. Ooh. Nice. So this thing has definitely surpassed all of the tests we've put it through today. All right, I've had an absolute blast out here on this thing. This thing is nice, awesome, torquey, stout. Definitely one of my favorite bikes here. So let's go over the 5 cons that we were talking about in the beginning of this video. So some things you need to know about the Engwe M20. All right, so like I said, besides being an all-around good bike, so there is definitely first con that we need to go over here. This thing is heavy. This thing is definitely heavier than some of my other fat tire bikes, full-size fat tire bikes. So even with that 750 watt, 1000 watt peak motor, it is kind of heavy. So definitely keep that in mind if you're gonna be taking this thing in and out of tight spaces, up and down stairs. It is a heavy beast in itself, and you're definitely gonna feel that when you get on it. It's just a solid, like I said, solid beast, but a heavy beast. All right, so con number two, it's kind of in the light systems itself. This exposed wiring, I'm just not a fan of. And I know there's a couple different ways they probably could have done that a little better, but just the fact that there is some exposed wires up front, if you do get any moisture, any dirt, anything in those connections, you can run the chance of an error. And I think that's what caused one of the errors. So about 30 miles in, I did get an error code on this guy, and I think it was related to one of the connections on the light here. Now, like I said, that might not be your typical situation and probably a one-off on this one, but I do just the fact that that did happen up here, and I can't tell if it got dirt or moisture in the connections up there that caused that issue. But once I noticed what was going on, I haven't had any other problems since then, but like I said, definitely could probably do a little better weatherization on those. All right, so these last couple cons here, I'm actually just really trying to pull out things, but I did notice when I was riding through those bumps, this seat with the combination of that monoshock, I don't know if it was just me or whatever, but this thing definitely went down and up and smacked me in the behind a couple times real hard. And I know it might have been in my riding style, but I think if you're not paying attention, this thing can bounce around and get you not in a very good place. So gotcha, I don't know if that was a combination of the seat choice here. The seat is pretty padded, but it's definitely not forgiving like a regular bike seat. So definitely a nice saddle, but over bumps, not the most comfortable beast there. All right, so I do want to say con number 4, definitely, so this one might not bug some people, but there's actually no off switch for these lights here. The lights on the bottom are always on. Now, I definitely go on some secret night rides sometimes, and I like being completely in the dark. Now, like I said, that's not for everybody, but when you do want to turn it on, it does definitely have the extra bright modes here. So it does have 2 different light modes, but you can't go completely dark. So all right, so con number 5, and like I said, these last few here, I'm really just trying to figure out something wrong with this beast. Definitely a good all-around beast, all around, but there's no seat adjustment here. So if you are a larger person, I don't think your knees are gonna get in the way of here, but if you are like a real professional biker and you're looking for that full leg stroke, I don't think you're gonna get it with this, just because you're sitting on here and your knees kind of go up here. So it's not too awkward to pedal, I would say, but there is no seat adjustment just because you do have this saddle seat on here, which I do like. I mean, the saddle seat's nice, and I do love this grip on here because you can grip right there and up here and kind of tote this heavy, like I said, heavy bike around. All right, it is starting to heat up out here. About time to wrap this up. So I want to thank you guys for stopping by. Thank you guys for being subscribers. Make sure you check all the links in the description. Give a shout out to Engwe out there. Check them out and use the discount code that you guys see also in the links in the description down there. So hit the thumbs up, hit that subscribe button if you're not already a subscriber. I will see all of you friends on the next episode here. We got some more cool e-bikes going on next, but we're going to go get to some fun stuff very soon. So I will see you guys on the next one. Deuces. Ride through the night, rolling life, bringing the heat, we taking flight, we rolling deep, the baddest crew around.